podcast coming at you. A podcast, Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast. Goodbye 2022. Welcome back from Christmas break. I hope you had some fun, relaxing and spending time with friends and family. Now as for me, I spent it all hanging over this acid-filled pool. Several weeks by myself, forgotten and alone. Actually, it hasn't really been all that bad, although I could really go for a sandwich. Podcast, Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast, right in your ears. Podcast, Cristo Rey podcast, the Cristo Rey podcast. Oh boy, here it comes.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Cristo Rey podcast. I am your host, Ujjal, and I'm joined by
Emily,
Deshaun.
Rebecca,
Icy,
Jade,
and Happy New Year's.
Yup.
oh yeah.
New Year, guys.
I mean, 2023, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Considering
Back so
that
fast.
when I joined this school, it was COVID happening. Like, that's crazy. It's been 3 years, and like, I'm just like,
It's a roller coaster.
because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think we'd get this far in the school, but you know, I'm looking up.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just always been the year on my email, and now that it's here, it's just like,
Wild.
it felt so far away, but now it's here.
Hope everyone enjoyed their break.
I'm sorry. That was. You sounded like a dad. I'm so sorry. You really did. Sounded like a dad. Like, hope everyone enjoys their break. No, you sound like those teachers that where after break they're so excited to finally see their students again, but nobody else is as excited
Because it's like 7:45.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what you sound like. Like, welcome back, guys. Let's get started. Everybody else like, no.
Miss Lester's the type to say that. I swear.
I was just gonna say, I wonder what 2023 physics is gonna be like. Because right now,
Let's
it's
not mention
not my.
Are you in
cup of tea.
honors?
Yes.
Yeah, we're all three
Yes.
juniors.
No, I chose my sanity.
Crank
See, I didn't choose my sanity. I was just put in honors physics, and I'm like, oh,
I
well,
mean,
I'm too deep
physics
in, so I'm not-
overall is just so complicated. Can't even imagine for you, Ujjal.
But
it.
yeah, you take CCP, right?
How is
I
that?
mean, it's really how you did in regular physics. It'll be a good representation of how you do in CCP.
Right.
Like at least that's how it is for me, at least. Like I did pretty well on like gaining the concepts and on the work, and right now I'm doing pretty well on CCP.
That's good.
I mean, most other people are also doing pretty good because I'll be honest, she grades it very, very leniently because a lot of concepts everyone doesn't always get them. Like the average score is usually a D or a C without any curve.
Oh,
And then it's almost always curved. We've only had one test that wasn't curved. And usually everyone gets a B or an A because of the curve. So you don't have to worry too much. But of course, that doesn't mean don't study. It's just, it's a different ballpark, I guess.
Welcome back, Cougars. This is Mr. Patrick, and I hope you had a restful Christmas break with your family, friends, and loved ones. You accomplished quite a lot in the first semester. Outstanding athletic achievements, excellent first and second quarter grades. But the greatest triumph of all is how you continue to show compassion and care for each and every person in this school. I'm constantly impressed by your loving hearts, and I know you will carry that along through the remainder of the school year.
Hello, Cougars. This is Mrs. Pettit. I just want to take a moment and congratulate you on a great finish to the first semester. And as we begin our second semester, just to take a moment to think through our theme again for this year, Together We Thrive. And just as we think about that, I'd just like to ask you to take some time to reflect and think through what you want this semester to look like. What does thriving look like to you and for you? And what can you do to help ensure that you do thrive? And what can you do to help ensure the others around you thrive? Second semester goes by so quickly. We're in the winter months now, and before long, the weather will start to warm up and the days will get longer, and we'll be approaching fourth quarter, and then the end of the year and graduation will be here. And so just as we get ready to finish out our year and to finish out this semester, it's good to pause at the very beginning and think through, what do we want this semester to be? How can we contribute to the thriving of this community? And how can we bring our very best to school with us every day and to support each other? Cougars, I am so proud of you, and I'm proud of the great semester we had first semester, and I look forward to the second semester with you. You are a fantastic group of students, and I am so proud to be your principal. Together we thrive.
Viva Cristo Rey.
If you don't want to do CCP physics, there are other options for you. Like last year, I took CCP psychology. So we take it at Columbus State, and a lot of other students were taking the same class. So we like struggled together, got there together. The teacher was super nice. The only thing is I'm taking another CCP class this semester, which is CCP psychology, like intro to psychology. But I don't know. I'm kind of scared because I've heard like some negative reviews about who the professor might be. So we'll see.
I'm also taking psychology the coming semester.
I'm confused. What's CCP?
College Credit Plus. So basically it's
Oh,
a class, but
More.
it's like directly credit to your college. But only some colleges take it, and it's usually like local colleges. So like if I'm doing a CCP class at Columbus State, it's usually just gonna like transfer through like colleges in Ohio. So
Yeah,
but you have
oh,
to
okay.
if it transfers or not.
if you go out of state, it usually doesn't transfer. Basically, it's like an AP class, but for the state only.
Yeah.
A question, because I was gonna do like CCP like during like my senior year, but then the school is like, oh, we don't take the credit, like it wouldn't be applied to your GPA or anything. So like, would you like still prefer to like still take the CCP rather than just taking the AP classes at the school?
Okay, so I guess it just depends on how complex you make your schedule your senior year. Like, are you thinking of doing a lot of AP classes?
Yeah.
So I would just like consider that into it, because the way it usually is that they find a class that will benefit your schedule. So last semester we did it, so it was 8th period. So you would leave 8th period like out of school and you would just go to Columbus State. But like it is still like a pretty like extensive class. So I would just see if you were like mentally prepared for it, and if it's like, and if the schools you already know you're going to are like not going to transfer it, then honestly I would just be like, just get a study hall and like study the other classes you have.
Right.
Back up. How many AP classes do you plan on taking?
I mean, how many APs are there in senior year?
There's AP Bio, AP English, AP Spanish. I don't know.
And that's
I would
not,
have to be
I mean,
taking
everything
that.
else except for AP Spanish.
There's also AP Calc, but
Oh yeah,
you
AP Calc.
also had
yeah.
to have doubled up beforehand.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do double up, so
Okay,
So
it's
you,
like,
there's four you can take.
I just realized if I want to, I'm going to have 4 as well.
yeah.
I'm going to have all 4 of them because I want to take AP Bio, but I have to take AP Spanish. And what was the point of doubling up on math if not for AP Calculus? So I have to take that as well.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
wanna
I
take
would
AP
say like
English 'cause it's
what
Dante's
is your
program.
major? Like what are you thinking of doing your major?
I'm thinking about studying zoology.
Okay, then I would take bio. And
I would take, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I want to
um,
do bio, and then the calculus one, that one was
I
like-
would take that one too, but I would be like, do I really want to do English and Spanish?
Well, the Spanish one I'm probably gonna do either way because Ms. Castillo put me in AP Spanish this year.
I mean,
so.
one person left and she put him back in the class. So
That's what I'm
Get
saying.
back
Like
here.
she's just
No,
gonna
I
be
mean-
like, Scorpion, get over here.
You don't have to. Like,
Yeah.
I know some people who are in my honors Spanish class, so you don't have to take AP Spanish if
Take
you already
honors
Spanish.
Spanish?
Yeah, I
That's
think
nice.
that
Yeah.
if you score like an A or B junior year, you're automatically in honors Spanish next year.
yeah. So like, don't overwhelm yourself. Like senior year is supposed to be like where you're already doing so many things other than classes, especially first semester. So I would say like try to find your balance. Like if you are someone who really can handle it, I mean, I would recommend, because I guess it would prepare you a lot for college because it will be a lot different. But I would say like keep in mind like it's supposed to be your last year, like you're having fun, and like I wouldn't just be anxious all the time during it. That's my advice.
Senioritis is real.
Hi guys, it's Poya. This is a reminder that your service hours deadline is coming up. By January 23rd, you should have 40% of your service hours done. For freshmen, that's 4 hours. For sophomores, that's 6 hours. For juniors, that's 8 hours. And for seniors, that's 4 hours. If you have any questions or are struggling coming up with ideas of where to volunteer, contact your theology teacher or Mr. Carrillo. They are more than happy to help.
How's college admissions
Good.
going?
I mean,
what was that good? That was very hesitant.
so I'm still expecting to hear back. I mean, I've gone into 2 already, but I'm still waiting to like my top ones. So
Yeah, I'm on the same exact boat. I just have to wait a little while and we'll see what happens.
Like, I'm more curious about where you guys plan on majoring.
To be honest, I don't really have like a passion, I guess. But if there was something I'd want to do, it's something that's like broad, that could work in multiple fields or multiple things at once. And the only one that's the broadest one I know is like computer science or like computer engineering. Because if you can work with computers, you can work anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's medical, plants, whatever. Like, so that's probably where I'm gonna major.
I want to major in communication, social media, public relations. So anywhere where like I don't know. I think I want to major I want to major in communications. That's like the main thing. And yeah, like future job wise, I guess I would want to like work for companies like PR or something, like traveling, like I feel like as I've grown as a person, I've become more like vocal, like I know how to communicate with other people. So I think I would do good in that.
My old supervisor actually, he majored in that, and he makes a lot of money. So you have a
There's
nice
always a
future ahead
plus
of you.
to everything.
Of course, of course.
What about you guys? Like, have you figured out what you guys want to do? Are you guys like still thinking about it?
I've been thinking, I mean, it could change in the next year, but I don't really think so. I want to major in chemistry, but specifically medicine chemistry and medicine science, because I've always just, I guess, had a knack for wanting to help people. And as a little kid, I was like, I want to be the one to cure cancer. So it kind of just developed into medicine.
So you're taking AP Bio?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of already talked about it a little bit, but I want to study zoology and more particularly herpetology, which is like the study of reptiles. 'Cause I really like reptiles, and I've had this ambition for quite a while, and like I already know what I would do with it. Like my future goal, like this is how I want my life to turn out. Like I want to open an educational building somewhere in New York. Because in New York, like specifically like Manhattan or the Bronx or Harlem area, they don't really have like the education on these kind of animals besides the Bronx Zoo and besides the Queen Zoo and stuff like that. So I would want to open an educational building there so I can get that education to the people to show them that they're not all just like the bad fighting monsters in movies or and stuff like that. So
For me, I think for so long I always wanted to become like a pediatrician, like major in like the medical field. But recently I found, I guess, like my passion. I mean, I guess it's not a passion because I always wanted to become a lawyer, but because like my parents wanted me to become a doctor and stuff, it always just was like with me like throughout my whole year. But recently we started doing a case in English. What was that case called? The girl where she killed like her stepmom and and
Lizzie
dad.
Borden.
Yes, yeah, we were doing that Lizzie Borden case, and I was just like, oh, this is so cool. And I found myself like more interested in it.
No, wait, not so
Oh, wow.
The cool thing is the fact that you're working on the case, not the case itself, right? Okay,
yes,
just
not
want
the
to
case
clarify that.
itself. But I mean, I do find the case very fascinating as well because it's like so many ideas to the case and there's so many views and perspective from it. So it's like it's for me, it was very fascinating. And I finally owned up, like stepped up to my parents. I'm like, hey, I don't think I want to become a doctor. Lawyer was always my choice. So yeah, there goes that. But yeah.
Hello, everyone. Mr. Corrigan here again. You know, hanging over this pool of acid for several weeks has given me a lot of time to think back over the past year. Honestly, 2022 was a year to remember. At the beginning of the year, that Omicron variant of COVID-19 began to spread. And on February 24th, Russia invaded Ukraine, launching a war that continues to this day. In March, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars right before winning the award for Best Actor. In May, the nation reacted to two of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history, a mass shooting in a Buffalo supermarket and the Uvalde, Texas school shooting. On June 24th, the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, leaving the issue of abortion up to individual states. And 6 days later, Ketanji Brown Jackson was sworn in as the first black female justice in the court's history. In July, we began to receive the first full-color images from the James Webb Space Telescope, giving us a view of the universe never before seen. Also in July, for the first time ever, streaming services topped cable TV for a greater share of the U.S. viewing audience. On September the 8th, Queen Elizabeth II died at the age of 96 after 70 years as Queen of England, bringing an end to the longest reign of any British monarch in history. Likewise, Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, the first pope to resign since the 15th century, died on New Year's Eve. At 95 years old, he was the longest-lived pope in history. In October, Elon Musk acquired Twitter, and on November 15th, it was estimated that the world population had reached 8 billion people. Wow, that is a lot of people. Yes, 2022 was an exciting year. Let's not forget about the Winter Olympics in Beijing and the World Cup in Qatar, too. And I'm sure 2023 will bring with it some exciting times, too. I cannot wait to see what happens. If I can ever get down from here, that is.
What about you, Jade? Do you have any ideas of what you want to? I know it's a little early to ask, but you know.
Yeah, right now I'm bouncing between two. I want to become a dermatologist or an environmental activist or do something that helps the environment or a regular activist. Like it's a lot, but like I've always wanted to fight for something, and I love that you're going to be a lawyer because I couldn't do it. It's so much paperwork, so much documents. I'm not reading for that long. But I will help in other ways.
That is really cool. So like there's a lot of science here.
I mean, my sister, she does like environmental policy, but with like a pre-law track. So I don't know, that would interest you, but it's like environmental, but it's also like
I don't know. I've always envisioned myself with like a hard hat, like building things that will help the environment. Like when I was younger, I had this plan. Don't ask me how it was going to work, but I was going to throw a huge net the size of the ocean. I was going to throw it out just to pick up all the trash. I don't know what would happen to the fish, but it would just pick up all the trash and everything would be a-okay. And that was my plan.
Well, I mean, if you don't always have to be in a court case to be a lawyer. There's different ways to be a lawyer. So I would consider it, but like don't just like I would consider being a lawyer, but I wouldn't just like I would look into it more because I mean, you have time, so like don't worry about it.
There's so many like different experiences like you could do to actually see if that's what you like. Because like for me personally, I was an intern. I mean, I still am, but an intern at a primary one, and I get to like work with like the doctors and nurses and stuff, and I got to be in an environment of what is it like to work in these fields every single day, and that's how I realized I'm like, yeah, I don't think this is for me. Even if it was for me, I'm not actually keeping it like the door shut all the way, but I just don't see myself doing it for the rest of my career. So like being like experience it in different fields and reaching out to people that's actually like in these fields and talking with them, it gives you like a brighter side of what this career actually is and what it contains of. So and I think PWSP does a good job in like giving us that experience. So
Yeah, I mean, at one point, I also wanted to become a lawyer, but after seeing how much you have to read and like actually understand the law with all of its jargon, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
So
Yeah, I was the same.
I mean, if you like doing it, I feel like it won't be seen as that way. But me personally.
Hey guys, Naomi here with some exciting news. Did you know Santa delivered Miss Abel's Christmas present a little early this year? On December 7th at 2:34 p.m., her new baby, George Roger Abels, was born. He was 19 inches long and weighed 6 pounds and 14 ounces. Welcome to our newest cougar cub, and congratulations to Miss Abels. Enjoy your maternity leave. If you're listening, I'm totally not on my phone and chewing gum. Honest.
I feel like PWC did a really good job for that for me, because I started working at the zoo sophomore year when I got out of YPI. And for students who don't know what YPI is, it's like another class essentially instead of going to an actual job. So you're learning to get a Microsoft certification. But anyways, besides that, they did a really good job because I worked in finance first, and then I started working in the animal program with the animals, and like getting to understand like the actual what I can do and what needs to be done to taking care of animals. In the finance, it showed me a lot what goes on behind the scenes, because I got to interact with so many different people. I even talked to the CEO at one point of the Columbus Zoo, and it was incredibly eye-opening for me, because you don't really think about, like, when you go into the zoo, you don't really think about like all the people who are working behind the scenes, making sure all these animals have what they need to fully live and thrive in these conditions. And it's incredible. And then when I got to work with the animals, it was even more of an opportunity for me to fully learn what it is to truly be a zookeeper.
So I always wondered, since you work at the zoo, how does it work in the winter? Because like when I went as a little kid, well, I've never went in the winter as a little kid. I've always thought like, what do they do?
So right now the zoo is still currently open. It's open year round. The only times we ever close is when there's severe weather warnings, and so we can make sure that because we try to prioritize the animals as best as we can, because a lot of them have their own outside enclosures, and their indoor enclosures are actually kind of far away from their outside enclosures. So right now, during the winter, we have this thing called wild lights, and we basically put lights up all over the zoo, and people can come in and they can like look at the lights, because there's like it's like a light show almost. And in the lake we have in like the front of the zoo, we put set of tree lights, and then there we have like a light show, and it's really nice. And then the place where I work specifically, which is the Animal Encounters Village, we don't really have to worry about the cold, because everything's inside. All the enclosures are inside except for the ones outside. And for the ones outside, those are like you can easily switch them in and out, the animals in and out. But I do recommend everybody go see the light show. It's really incredible, like the amount of time everybody puts in, like all like everybody, and I mean everybody chips in. Like it's really incredible how much we work together, but we still kind of don't know each other because we're all different departments. But it's really great. I do recommend you go see them.
I need to go.
So I guess like since like it's basically like half of the year, or actually more than half if you really think about it. But I guess we could talk about like what are your goals like for the rest of the year and upcoming year, and like what you probably learn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll start. For me, first, like what I learned in the past year, I think I learned more about myself. Um, and I think I learned to like not let go of academics, but like to find a passion that I actually like. And I'm still on the track of finding that passion, but I think it's like it was more like a learning year of, you know, upcoming awakening year of actually knowing who I am away from academics. And I think that's really, I feel like that's good for me, because for so long I always thought that it was only academics that made me me, but I'm finding other things that I actually like rather than that. I guess for my upcoming year, I mean, I still have my goal of going to Harvard. So I guess I'll still take like hard classes and hopefully pass them, but I'm trying to prioritize and balance that academic life and that social life. So therefore I don't stress myself too much. So
This is Mr. Lofferswaller Hamp with your Theology Minute. January 6th is the Feast of the Epiphany, where we remember the time where the Magi, or wise men, visited Jesus when he was a baby. They brought him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh to acknowledge him as the newborn king. We'll hear the reading of the story from the Gospel of Matthew this Sunday at Mass at all Catholic and most other Western churches. January 6th is also an important day for the Orthodox churches. It is their Christmas Eve, because they celebrate Christmas on January 7th. Those churches, including the Ethiopian and Eritrean churches, have their Epiphany on January 19th, because they follow a different calendar. This is a good day to remember that God is always coming into our lives and into our world anew, and ask ourselves, what gifts can I give to Him? What do I have to offer?
I've made a lot of changes this year, and I hope that I stick to this path because the changes I have made, they were very positive, and I feel, happier. I'm not stressed anymore. I just hope I get out more and, see the world and go outside for just a little bit because sometimes that homework is just, whew. But anyways.
Mr. Cordia likes that.
And it only gets worse as you go up.
Right. It doesn't get.
I need to go outside immediately.
New year, you better enjoy going outside now. 'Cause New year is going to.
It's gonna plummet.
There's no time for that anyways.
Oh, also, I've started watching TV, which was really great because I always said I never had time for it.
It was
So,
a recommendation.
a recommendation, Bones. It was really good. And that's where like my lawyer thing came in because the criminals, they just always sometimes they got away. It was only the bad ones that really just got away. And it just really sucked. But Bones is really good. They look at old remains and find the killers like years after, or it could be recent, but it's really good.
I think I saw an episode in my anatomy class.
Yeah, and it's like great because they're getting justice and it's like so heartwarming, like, oh my gosh, because they would have never found that out if it wasn't for these specific people. Very empowering. But anyways, I want to watch more TV. I want to watch Game of Thrones yet. No spoilers, but that's what I'm watching next because dragons and yeah.
So for me, the first semester was pretty hectic because I didn't realize how much work I was putting. I didn't realize how much work I was giving myself. But to me, I think I realized that the work in the end is really worth it because now that I have my big brother in my life and I also have my baby cousin and then a baby cousin who's in Argentina, I realized that I need to keep putting myself into this work. And yeah, I definitely have some improvements to make, but I definitely need to keep pushing myself to be the best I can be, so I can make sure I can be like the big sister or the big cousin that they need, so that they know who to look up to.
Okay, so I feel like this year in terms of academics has been kind of difficult for me, but in a way it's allowed me to learn a lot about myself, and the challenge is like it kind of pushes me and encourages me to do better. And with that being said, my goal for the future, specifically next semester, is to do better in honors physics because right now it's kicking my butt. But long-term goals, honestly, just obviously work hard, work on improving myself, and just even during challenges in life, be able to find the joy and just keep a positive mindset and keep moving forward.
Hey guys, Nishan here. We hope you're enjoying this episode of the Cristo Rey Columbus podcast. Whether you're a first-time listener or you've been listening since our very first show way back in 2020, did you know all of our past episodes are available to listen to at any time? Just go to YouTube, search for Cristo Rey Columbus High School, then click on playlists. You'll find every episode from every season there, including the current one. To listen to wherever and whenever you want. When you are finished listening to this episode, why not go back and listen to some of our classic shows you may have missed? And don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss another episode of the Cristo Rey Columbus podcast. Happy listening.
Well, I'd like to say this. High school is not the end, right? Like, Some people find their passion during high school. Some people don't find it until they're 60. And I still have time. You know, I actually did what I said I was gonna do in the first podcast. I said that I hope I fail and grow from it, and I did. Like the big program that I applied to, Questbridge, right? I didn't get in. It would have been a full ride if I did, but I didn't. But because I didn't, now I'm extra motivated, like for the rest of the year, because I was suffering really badly from senioritis. I won't lie. But now most of its effects are gone. Like I feel motivated to actually do more, and I feel like this is actually a plus because I feel like if I had gotten that scholarship, it would have gone even worse, and my senioritis would have completely taken over. But of course, you know, second half of the year for senior year, you don't have to put in nearly as much work because now I'll probably be in college. Like I'll probably have been accepted already. So by then I just need to coast. I don't need to still get super high marks. And yeah, about the future, I hope I find a passion really.
I think the past first semester, I think I learned a lot about myself and like what I'm like really like leaning towards for the future. I think I've grown a lot as a person, and I hope this second semester I really just have my last moments at Cristo Rey with all of my close friends, and I figure out what school I want to go to, because everyone will literally not stop asking you, what school do you want to go to? And I literally don't know, and I'm not going to decide until May 1st, which is this decision day. So yeah, I hope I just figure out what I really want to do, what school I want to go to, and just have fun this last semester.
I'd like to say most colleges, well, at least from my point of view now, most colleges are pretty similar. Like the only thing that really matters, what you get out of it, is the degree. I mean, some do look better, like Harvard looks better than, let's say, OSU. But at the end of the day, they care more about the degree than where you went specifically.
Yeah.
I was just gonna pick up on what you were saying about like how like failure and stuff, and it really like did bring up like this year, like I have felt like so many tremendous things, like just not in academics, but specifically like outside of academics. And I am a person that's so used to like just winning and winning and winning. I have never really knew what failure was, but this year has really like taught me like, hey, you're not perfect. That's number one. And number two, you're gonna fail because everybody fails. And I feel like that is a really, really great lesson, because if you're used to always winning and stuff, I guess it boosts up your ego in a type of way, and then you feel like you don't need to put in the effort for so many things, and it humbles you. And I definitely think it did humble me this year, and I'm glad I low-key failed. And change is also a thing. And like for like the sophomores and freshmen out there, or even the juniors in general, change is actually a good thing. And change, it's not a bad thing in life. It's okay to sometimes change who you are. I guess not change who you are, but like what you like, what you're interested in, and what you just want for the future. Like you don't always have to stay the same throughout, life in general.
Well, we hope you had a wonderful break, like Jay Sean said. And we'll see you in the next upcoming podcast. Happy New Year's.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Podcast. This is the Cristo Rey podcast. The Cristo Rey podcast. It came right at you. Podcast. This is the Cristo Rey podcast. It was the Cristo Rey podcast. I'm still over this pool. I think the knot is coming loose. I can feel myself slipping. I'm going to fall in and finally be dissolved into nothingness. Is this the end of Mr. C? Hey, why am I still singing? What's wrong with me? Oh no! I'm melting! Melting! Hey, wait a minute. I'm fine. I'm alive. This isn't acid. What is this stuff? Tastes like lime Kool-Aid. Lime Kool-Aid? This whole time I've just been hanging over lime Kool-Aid? That's it? Well, this is anticlimactic. See you next week on the Cristo Rey podcast, I guess.